Good afternoon, all my art gurus. Welcome and thank you again for tuning in and for watching my art vlogs. In today's discussion, I wanted to talk about the wash and line technique. So I have prepared a lot of information. I've condensed it as best as I could. So I've written it all down. Again, bear with me if I'm reading and looking at all the notes that I've got in front of me. Now, the essence of wash and line technique is knowing how much to put in and knowing how much to leave out. Now, this is an experience thing, and you'll find that the more you draw and the more you play around with colour, you'll discover what works for you and what doesn't work for you. But I will elaborate on that. Now, for me personally, wash and line is extremely expressive. I mean, you've got a fine line and fluid washes that work in absolute perfect harmony. I mean, it's absolutely delicious. This particular flow and the technique, I love using mostly with animals or figures and also with plants if I'm working outdoors. When people start to move outdoors, you'll find that you haven't got a lot of time to sketch all their details. So I'm always more interested in looking at their movement and figure and energy versus what coat they're wearing, etc. For me personally, the deliciousness of the wash and line technique I find is in the unfinished quality of it, because I'm able to start a story, and where then that story continues is from a viewer's perspective. Most viewers that look at a wash and line technique will start to employ their own imagination and start to complete that story. And the benefit and the beauty of that is that every single person has a different point of view, different imagination, different storyline. So it's almost like when you start a wash and line technique, the story never ends. It's a continual unveiling of that particular story. So for me, I'm absolutely in love with that. One tip is to tell everybody, please don't overwork your lines. Keep it simple, keep it fluid. Wash and line tends to be a mixed media context, so you're using watercolors or acrylics with charcoal, pencils, etc. And again, this type of technique has the ability to capture both simple process and a direct process, and that is absolutely delicious. When you use skillful line work and fluid color washes, what you're presenting to the viewer is basically the bare essentials. So you've stripped all the noise around that particular subject and saying, ta-da, here I am. And again, that's why I'm totally in love with this particular technique. Now, how do you decide how much lines to make, how many lines to make? The amount of water really does become about practice. My suggestion to everybody is, if you are not confident or familiar with how many lines to draw, I really do suggest that you join a figure sketching class or a club, and you will learn that as the model moves every minute, that you lose the need to then focus on detail. You really just want a line and emphasizing her or his movement more than detail. So that's then how you learn how many lines to put in and leave out. I also recommend to everybody, please resist the need to cover your white page. What you'll find that as you're putting in your lines and your color washes, that you almost feel this need that I have to cover the white paper. But the thing is that that white paper in itself is the foundation. It's carrying that image. So it is also part of the story. So please resist that need to then cover it with a lot of color or lines. Again, the simpler you make it, the more beauty you actually evoke from your subject matter. From a tools perspective, again, I'm keeping it fairly simple. I'm using Arches paper. I love that it's acid free. It's hand pressed, I think, and not. It's basically chemical free, so it's got a better lasting quality. I'm not sure if I'm going to use charcoal or color pencil. I've got 3 different subject matter to show you how wash and line is created, so just bear with me. In terms of brushes, if you're using brushes, part of your mixed media, please consider using a large brush. Don't use a small one. Small ones you'll tend to make doubtful and encourages doubtful marks. You want to have a confident flowing mark, so just be mindful of that. I might use oil pastels again, just wanting to experiment as I'm doing this video for everybody here. So I will talk in the background and give you all that information as we go along. So I'll go and get ready and we'll start doing our wash and line technique. Thanks, guys. Okay, how did you guys find that process? I hope you are inspired enough to be able to start and explore and expand the wash and line or color and line technique, as I refer to it, and create your own unique artworks using your own unique perspective. I know there's an art guru inside of every single person out there. So start your art conversation today and explore where this particular process can take you. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. I look forward to bringing you more art videos and also keeping in touch with every single person out there. And remember, create, paint, and be you. Until next time, bye.